Zach and Tori Roloff reveal what they miss most about filming TLC show and if they'd return to TV. Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Have a nice day. I am Jessica. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Zach and Tori Roloff are looking back at their time on Little People, Big World after making their official exit last year. I don't know if we necessarily miss the show because now we're sharing our lives on our terms, which is a gift, honestly, Tori, 33, said on the Wednesday, February 5, episode of Jinger Duggar and Jeremy Vuolo's self-titled podcast. We can kind of control the narrative of what is shown, especially with our kids being involved. We can choose what we share with them. Both Tori and Zach, 34, shared that while they don't miss the filming aspect, they do miss the connections they made behind the scenes. Zach starred on the TLC series, which premiered in 2006, alongside parents Matt and Amy and siblings Jeremy, Molly, and Jacob. The show followed the family as they ran a farm together in Oregon. Zach ended up meeting Tori as they worked together on the farm. The pair tied the knot in 2015 and have since welcomed 3 children, Jackson Kyle, 7, Lila Ray, 5, and Josiah Luke, 2. In February 2024, Zach and Tori announced they were exiting Little People, Big World. While they were happy with the decision to leave, Zach acknowledged he had mixed feelings about whether he could see his family making a return to TV at some point. It's tough too. There's these certain days where I'm like, oh man, maybe we could do it, but then instantly you remember some things that did annoy you at the time, whether valid or not, or you didn't like it, he reflected on Wednesday. You have to remind yourself sometimes, why did we step away? And then there could be days when you wake up and have too much coffee and you're like, we could do this again. One thing Zach does not miss is doing the confessional interviews for the show. I have a hard time when I say something and then have to repeat it, because all of a sudden it brings on a new meaning, he said. When I say it's actually not a big deal, but now I feel like it is becoming a big deal. Tori echoed similar sentiments and explained that she struggled having to discuss conflict on the show despite resolving the matter prior. Whenever there was a conflict and then 6 months later, you're over the conflict, whatever happened has been resolved, we've moved on, she recalled. 6 months later you're still talking about this conflict. That was always really frustrating. Tori noted that when conflict with her husband made it on the show, she and Zach had a hard time sharing their issues since they're both private. We are not public arguers even by nature. If we have a conflict in public or while with friends, we do a look and we'll talk about it later, it's never in the presence of other people, she explained. It's always handled very privately. When it turned to like, you guys gotta argue about this, Zach and I are not actors. We looked at each other and it was like, this is awkward. Since their departure from reality TV, Zach and Tori have been looking to see what's next for them and their family. The twosome expressed interest in keeping fans updated with their lives through online platforms. I think in the new age with YouTube, it is hard now to go back to a reality TV model, Zach said. 'Cause you can control your own media now and get just as many views. Little People Big World Matt Roloff was in Newark in Star Wars photo. Zach and Tori Roloff visited the Jinger and Jeremy podcast and spilled a lot of interesting tea, most shocking perhaps that Zach's dad, Matt Roloff, was in Newark in several George Lucas films. Keep scrolling to see photos and hear more about the crazy LPBW lore, below. Zach and Tori Roloff, stars of Little People Big World, finally met the Duggars after years of living parallel lives on TLC. Jinger Vuolo and her supersized family was the subject of 19 kids and counting before it was cancelled due to several scandals, and the Roloffs were documented for being a family made up of both average height and little people. Both families are conservative Christians and ironically have never had any discussions until recently. Posted to social media, clips of Tori and Zach Roloff on the Jinger and Jeremy podcast are getting a lot of attention from fans. Tea was spilled about both families during the sit-down, but the most shocking bit of info is also the most innocuous. Matt Roloff was in Newark.